All right, thank you for staying with us. It's Sports Tonight. It's the midweek edition of the show. And if you just joined us, you missed out on the first part. But not to worry, we still have a lot lined up for you on the show. And let me just quickly tell you that Austin Okonakwan has left us now. We've released him. And Yemi Adebayo has joined me on the show. Yemi, we've been discussing a lot about the revival of sports in Nigeria. But we must commend the House of Rep for thinking along the line of boxing. But they shouldn't stop there, not just boxing. A lot of other sports that we were very, very good at, very dominant in Africa, have slowly, gradually gone off without people noticing. Yeah. Hockey, handball, volleyball.
I mean, to think that some of those sports that you mentioned, there were stories that we had growing up of how, I mean, we used to participate in those sports, do well in them. For some of us that belong to this generation, sometimes you think maybe your parents are lying when they tell you that there are some schools that do well in cricket, because the reality now is that some of those things do not exist.
They don't even have sports trips anymore.
Handball, volleyball, all of those things. Some of the stories you've heard, it looks like a lie now. But, you know, I think the journey to reawakening begins with some of these steps. And like you said, I hope the blanket will be wide, so it's going to cover everything. Let's not just focus on boxing. The brain drain is going on across board. A lot of, you know, just look around. Nigerians representing other countries across board, football, basketball, sports. You know, the question we need to ask ourselves is, can these people aspire to be the best while still being Nigeria? Can they achieve their dreams if we can assure them that they can achieve their dreams and still represent Nigeria? All of this will stop.
And of course, you have a lot of pointers. Yeah. Daniel Igali was a Nigerian wrestling for Nigeria, left us, went to Canada, and in a few years, an Olympic gold medalist.
Kim Olajuwon.
A lot of it. So it's in our own interest to make our environment very conducive,
so we can keep our best
for our athletes, our talents to be able to actualize, as Yemi said, actualize their dreams. It's a tough call, really, but it's something we really have to work at and make happen if we want to take our pride of place on the continent. Talking about taking our pride of place on the continent, let's talk about the women now. The women's football has brought a lot of honor to Nigeria. The girls have done us proud on so many occasions. But are we really paying the right kind of attention to the women's game? That's why we must commend the Lagos State Football Association for organizing a women football seminar where they brought a lot of key participants together, and they identified education and sports as having a huge role to play in the development of the girl child in the society. At the seminar held to herald the Co-Football Women's Championship, the participants were advised not to abandon school for sports. Both can go hand in hand. Yeah. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Women Football League, Nkechi Obi, you know, I told you about this woman, very passionate, very knowledgeable, believes that if the girl child is empowered, our community, our country will benefit. So let's listen, and then we'll be back.
The girl child, as I told the young girls here, are already what we call in football parlance short one. So if you are not confident, the vagaries of this life that you're going to come across will get you down. You will meet challenges. Let's not quote it, let's not beat about the bush. But it is that confidence that you have that will see you through. So you start at this age. I understand quite a lot of them, JS2, JS3, SS1. This is the age where you mold them, you build them. You let them know that you can be anything you put your mind to if you are confident enough to believe in yourself. If you are interested in something, work at it. Work at it, because working at it will bring you success. And when you work at it, the confidence you bring to bear in that work is what will see you through.
Yeah, education is very key, particularly for the girl child, for our women, because their careers are a lot shorter, than for the men, and they need fallback as well.
And like she said, rightly pointed out, they start out with a disadvantage. You know, you want to play football, they look at you, you're a girl. I mean, ladies face a lot of other issues that guys don't have to face. And if you're not educated, you know, you're starting off, you already have a disadvantage. Now you're not educated, it means you're throwing all your eggs, whatever, in one basket. And education is key. I mean, if you're educated, you open a lot other doors. And apart from that, apart from the doors he opens, people can, you know, just take advantage of you. And that's key. Because sometimes girls are the ones that are easy to take advantage of.
All right, so that's the message. And once again, we commend the Lagos State Football Association, Eco Football, for what they've been able to do. The chairman of the Lagos State Football Association, Seyi Akinwumi, is the vice president of the Nigerian Football Federation. We are also looking forward to seeing some of these programs replicated at the center, at the national level. Of course, with the likes of Nkechi Obi, Aisha Falode coming on board, you can be sure that the future looks good for the women's game.